Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
And welcome into Home Track Heroes here on a Sunday night on Seattle 11. If you were tuning in for Shrek, sorry to disappoint you this week, but we got you all covered up and ready to go. My name is Caleb Hart. He is DT on TV. That is Derek Todoroff. And Derek, we got Figure 8 Mania here tonight on the show. This should be fun.
Yes, it should. And I'm, for one, very excited to get to cover some more Figure 8 action. There's nothing I love more than Figure 8s, as I've made abundantly clear in my few appearances on this show.
It is the most incredibly dangerous intersection in Washington, in the United States, heck, around the world, in fact.
Art is what it is.
Art. All right. We'll make that stretch, and we'll figure out how to paint the puzzle to get on the way. All right. We have got a great show for you guys tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. Our show is brought to you by All Ply Roofing, and we're going to get you some heat race action to start things off. We'll stay off the Figure 8 for the first portion of the show. Here are our BECU mini stocks. Paisley Bender in the 18 on the front row of this one, the Allied Motorsports car out of Snohomish. Dawson Cox out of Arlington in the 88 Tire Pro sponsored car. Cole Reardon, he is our points leader and leading feature winner out of Granite Falls. Bob T. Builder sponsors the 4. And the 221 is Lyndon Smith out of Everett, sponsored by PRCBD.
In the number 61, row number 3 inside out of Snohomish, sponsored by Debbie and Dan Chernesky. That's Randy Dittmers. In the number 11 on his outside, Keegan Mooney out of Bellevue, sponsored by Liqua Molly. And pulling the tail on the field, driving his Hornet, I believe, with the number 59. Got some mini stock tires on board the Arlington native Newell Corporation machine of Tegan Bjornsson, as it's always, special to get to see these Hornet cars when they come out with the, look at it.
And at the same time,
I love it.
With the difference in tire, it's going from a DOT thread to an actual racing tire. It will make a pretty big difference in the handling, and for a driver who may be looking to move up, change their car for the next year, they can learn a whole heck of a lot by swapping over to that tire.
Well, in Bjornsson's case here, he is trying to continue making all the starts this season. That number 59 has run into some mechanical troubles, and compliments to the team getting this car out here, making the necessary adjustments, but it's still just, it's fun to see it,
Now, this is just a heat race. This is 8
is.
laps, and it has absolutely no bearing on the main event coming up. It is not for seating or positioning starting that main event. What it is, however, for is for season championship points, and Cole Reardon has been on an absolute tear in this class in trying to bring home the season title.
That he has. See him make his move to the outside, make it look so easy getting around the outside of these Mustangs. Mustang's been the dominant force in this class for quite a while now. And yet, this number 4 machine really coming to life. And
First time I met Cole was about 6 years ago. I'm going to say 2019, and all he could talk about at the time was figuring out how to beat the Mustangs by getting the right power and handle combination out of the Hondas that he's been working on. And here we are 6 years later. It took him a little less time than that, a little time away from the seat to do some other stuff, but he's definitely got her cooking, as right now looking to underneath one of the fastest cars in the field with one of the fastest drivers, the substituting Dawson Cox in the JBR 88. And there is Reardon peeking to the inside.
yeah, my first real conversation with Cole happened about a year ago now, just to this date. And he and I discussed he was bringing in his mini stock that you might remember looking a bit like a patchwork quilt last year.
Yep.
Now with that fresh coat of paint, fresh coat of wrap, is that the right term?
Whatever it is, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. And seeing that car for the first time, he talked about how excited he was to be back in the saddle, running mini stocks once again, and of course with his Hondas that he's really put a lot of effort into. And
that's showing right here as he's gotten around the 88 of Cox, and see if he can run down arguably the fastest of the Mustangs in Smith's 221. That car of the all-time leading, like if we were to break it down by the individual car itself, that Mustang has as many and if not more feature wins than I think any mini stock in the history of Evergreen Speedway at this point in time, for as many times as Lane Sundholm took it to victory lane.
Yeah, Sundholm's run with it was legendary. Stanford before the number 18 was on board. Lyndon had his dominant season 2023 that ended with his title. That's definitely one of the class of the field cars, and demonstrating it right here. See, he rolls his way through turn number 3, comes off at turn number 4. Cole Reardon far in the rearview mirror as the checkered flies. Heat number 1 goes to Lyndon Smith.
That's exactly what Lyndon is hoping for. He and his dad, Joel, helped field that car, so It is Lyndon, Cole, and Dawson. Heat race number 1 all in the books, as we've got to kick it back here as they get ready for our second heat race. And same thing again, they're for season championship points, but there is no money on the line and no starting position in the A main event on the line. That is all determined by time trials and inverts and all that fun math stuff that, as a professional not going to school guy, I don't do.
And I'm a liberal arts major, so I can't help with that either. Driving the number 17 on point, inside row number 1, that's Jonah Vick out of Arlington, sponsored by Tom's Automotive. Outside of him in the number 12, Gavin Ballou out of Marysville, sponsored by Absher Build LLC. Row number 2, the 16, Travis Woodward out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Simon & Son Towing. On the inside of the 81, a Bobby Fisher. Fisher out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Reese Construction.
Third row to the inside is the 14 of Isaiah Gill. Gill is out of Parkland. Conoco sponsoring the 14 car. To his outside from Gig Harbor, the Alpine Equestrian and Gig Harbor sponsored 21 of Ethan Payne. And on the back, the Racers Against Child Abuse, number 97, it is Zach Bristol out of Snohomish. He starts 7th, 7 cars, 8 laps, and 1 more pace lap before we get ready to go into green flag action here on heat race number 2.
Issues in practice that resulted in the number 97 of Zach Bristol missing his qualifying opportunity. That is why he's starting from the rear here in this heat race. Excited to see what he can do in that number 97. He's got a long road ahead.
We know, and we've talked about it pretty extensively here, that car does not have the most in terms of straightaway speed and sheer raw horsepower, but Bristol's got as much, if not more, handle than anybody in the class, and he can definitely keep his foot further into the throttle through the turns than a lot of the other drivers. So we'll see him in one of just a few Volkswagens that are out here, try to work his way up in the back, as Gavin Ballou shoots out to the early lead. And look out, Isaiah Gill doing a little agricultural racing off the bottom of turn 3.
Hey, good save to keep it off the wall. I know how much difficulty you run into when you touch that inside dirt, but avoids making any sort of heavy contact. And now we've got our battle between Gavin Ballou and Bobby Fisher, the outside row starters in this one.
Boy, there is, I don't know, take a look at it as they come around the next time here, Derek. There's a little bit of debris that appeared to get kicked up off that bottom down in the dirt when the 14 car got in there. Watch it as we're going to come on the corner, and the corner's going to look a little dusty here in just a second. Yeah, right there.
Now they're diving into your neck of the woods.
Hey, that's what we do, right? Caution flag's going to come out, and I think they're going to come out and get the sweeper and knock that off knock that off the track as we get a replay here. Here's Gill, and watch him head down into the beautifully manicured grass by Don Fairley.
Yeah, just gets loose, dips that nose in there.
Starting to get some green back in the grass down there at the bottom, as it was really, really dead during the course of the summer. However, we got her all fixed up. Really dry summer. It was nice.
It really was.
Yeah, not extraordinarily hot, but it definitely was not as wet as we usually see during the Western Washington summer. And boy, it killed our grass for a little while. Don was very upset.
Hey, but all the better for our racing, I'd say.
Hey, we like dry race nights, although here at Evergreen Speedway we run rain or shine Saturday night, April through September.
That we do. Ballou on the inside, Bobby Fisher on the high, then Woodward and Vick, Bristol and Payne, Gill at the rear. 7 cars still on track. They got 6 laps to decide. Heat race number 2. Off of turn number 4, Gavin Ballou will lead him on to the green.
That was an extended to the green, and Bobby Fisher got the whole shot on that one. As Ballou going to have to settle into second. He was doing a nice job holding Bobby off for those couple of laps, but Bobby got through the gears and has a little more takeoff, and he'll ascend to the top spot.
Here comes the number 97 making the move to the inside of Travis Woodward. 2 longtime competitors out here at Evergreen Speedway. Woodward put the blue back on the number 16 this year, while luck has not quite been on his side. Looking forward to seeing more appearances from the 16 Mustang.
A multiple-time feature winner in years past, as Woodward, he has just been fighting it year long here on the 16 car. More DNFs than I ever remember Woodward having, and hopefully he can get it turned around in just a couple of weeks to go here in our race season. Right now, fighting for the low side on Jonah Vick. We've seen both Vick brothers driving in the mini stocks over the course of this year, and now Jonah trying to pilot around the middle of the racetrack and hold off Woodward as the back end kind of kicks around him coming off the 4.
Yeah, he's put the number 17 on it, much like his Spec Ranger truck we saw very recently here on the show. It's waiting a new coat of paint, I've been told.
They're going to go with a nice pink and yellow?
I don't know. I don't know.
Could be fun. Down to 3 to go. Fisher streaking away from Ballou, and now Ballou feeling the pressure from the 97 of Zach Bristol. Bristol, the reigning and defending Hornet Division champion, and West Region number 1 for NASCAR?
National
number one. So he sits third here in the mini stock. Picked up the first mini stock win finally here in 2025. Right now looking for second in the heat race.
Gonna put the pedal to the metal, try and make a move here to the inside. Ooh. A little bit of a bobble, but it's not going to matter for Bobby as Bobby Fisher comes across the line to win. At the line, I think Ballou just barely edged ahead of Bristol.
And too little too late for Bristol. And again, season points on the line there in the heat race. That is all. So we'll see what he can do in the main event. He'll either be up towards the very front or he'll be buried one way or the other. Depends on how the invert comes across with getting no time trial effort.
I believe he will start from the rear due to that lack of qualifying lap.
Well, let's go to the inside. We have got to show you our figure 8 track and the mighty Chain Lake Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8s. We'll get one heat race for them in the books before Figure 8 Mania and the main events kick off a little bit later on in the show. Front row is the 767 Ricky Dietz out of Arlington, sponsored by Tire Pros, the shop out of Arlington. The JE55, that spells Jessica Wilkinson out of Marysville, Pilchuck Heating and Air Conditioning. Second row, Zach Larson, the 83G Brundage Bone Concrete Pumping on his car, and the 9 of Dakota Wilkinson out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Tony V's Garage.
In the number 51, Ryan Clark out of Granite Falls, sponsored by Action Machine, alongside teammate number 74, Tulalip native of Chris Curtis, sponsored by Bulldog Haven Northwest. 35 is Haley Wilkinson, sponsored by Cobalt Cycles out of Lake Stevens. 676, I believe that's Ricky Dietz, Jamie Corbett up front. Ricky out of Arlington, sponsored by A1 Auto Service Center.
Okay, yep, you are right. Corbett got the front row. Dietz in the back row. Our apologies on that. My bad. It happens. I get it wrong once in a while.
You know.
Green flag is out.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, to the early lead goes Jess Wilkinson in the 55. Corbett will sit second, trying to hold off Dakota Wilkinson. The 9 car currently running to the inside in the battle for 2.
Inside, of course, the preferred lane here on our figure 8 track. Very flat track where positioning matters a lot. How you put your car into these corners really changes things as the 83 goes up the track, tags the 74.
Everybody settles, though.
Yeah.
Manages to drive through. Nothing bent, broken, nothing leaking yet.
All behaving themselves.
They've got a long main event to come later on, so they all have to behave, at least for the time being. As Wilkinson kind of taking a wide exit to the corner, and she's got the drop right now on Corbett, but Corbett right there to put some pressure on her. And coming through, looks like Chris Curtis up to pressure Dakota Wilkinson.
Yeah, Curtis trying to put the car to the inside. He's the defending Outlaw Figure 8 champion. Trying to take on one of the, well, not one of the youngest driver in this division right now.
As up front, Wilkinson still holding it. Wilkinson Dakota version has been moved out of line. He'll settle into 4th as Dietz from the back of the field now tucked in and running in position number 5 as we are halfway plus. 5 down, 3 to go.
Corbett going to try and sneak to the inside here. A little bit of contact between the J55 and 767. Curtis waiting in the wings, see who comes out on top. Still a side-by-side battle through this corner. Coming across the line, 2 to go. Curtis going to follow Corbett.
Corbett found his way to the preferred inside line, coming into the right-hand set of corners. Next time around, we're going to see the white flag. You can see where the flagman is stationed right here at this tire cluster.
The flag cave.
Yep. The tire cave right there off the inside of the North Pole. And one more time around for Jamie. Dietz has worked his way up into 3rd, so Ricky Dietz really on the move tonight as well. As we're down to the checkered flag. And Jamie Corbett going to pick up the win in the heat race in our first little preview of Figure 8 Mania to come later on in the program. Well, that'll do it for segment number 1. We got to take a commercial break. We will be back with more. Thank you guys for tuning in here to Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. It is main event time here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11, and we go to the Figure 8 course first here on Figure 8 Mania. DT, Derek Todoroff, Caleb Hart, and it is time. Buzzin' Steakhouse Stinger 8 with the front row, the 151 of Cody Weldon. He's out of Arlington. All Ply Roofing sponsors him. To his outside, it's Jacob Funk in the 8 out of Mill Creek, Mr. Captain Chaos himself. Row number 2 is the 721 of Kadrick Holt. He is out of Edmonds. And to his outside, the 78 is Blaine Manning, sponsored by Be Happy Carpet Cleaning.
Number 46 is Mike Hathaway out of Marysville, sponsored by Rep and Welding and Rail. Alongside the I'd Hit That Motorsports Machine, the 85 of Hunter Jenkins out of Monroe. Cle Elum native, the 717 Diesel Snyder, sponsored by Handy in the Valley. Be alongside the 102 of Randy Moffat out of Everett, sponsored by B&R Drywall.
5th row is Riley Riddell out of Gold Bar, the DL Enterprises number 20 car. His outside, the 16 of Peyton Hopp out of Snohomish, sponsored by the Cut Shop of Woodinville. Row behind them is the 21 of Matt Somerville out of Monroe, Airport Welding and Muffler. And the 15 of Matt Snyder out of Snohomish, sponsored by Handy in the Valley.
The 43 of Damon Claiborne out of Snohomish, sponsored by Kia of Everett, alongside the 810 of Cameron Iverson. Rounding out your field, driving the number 10 out of Arlington, sponsored by JBR. Subbing in for Cody Hoops is Dawson Cox.
Dawson's having a busy night already. We've, saw him in a mini stock, now seeing him in a Stinger 8.
Dawson's here to have fun.
All right, he's going to be tired. Somebody get him ready. Is Cody Weldon. A little slow getting into. Look out. As early leader will be Jacob Funk. Apparently the t-shirts are coming, by the way.
Oh, we're finally getting Captain Chaos t-shirts.
Yeah, it's coming. I've already put in my desire
wonderful.
to get one, as he's going to drop a spot. That is the 78, Blaine Manning, pulling ahead. So Manning's got the top spot. And the driver with the world's biggest head, Randy Moffat, the 102 on the right-hand side of the screen, who forgot
Are you allowed to say that?
Absolutely am. I sold him his helmet. It's like a size 8 3/8 helmet. Dude's got a gigantic head. You know those 7'7" NBA basketball players, Jorge Mirasan and Manute Bol? His head is like their size.
I do racing and I do hockey. Those are the two things I do. I'm not a big baseball or basketball guy, I guess.
Think if Jamie Alexiak wore a motorsports helmet.
Huh.
Yeah, Moffat's got a gigantic head. I'm surprised he can get the car around the corners. His head is that big. It throws off the gravity in it. I'm going to hear about that one on Facebook.
Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah, Moffat's a good guy, too. Good race car driver. Watching the in-car from him, and a big thank you to Brandy Hood Promotions as they give us our in-car shots. Your lead pair is Blaine Manning and Hunter Jenkins. They're on the left-hand side of your screen, and we're watching Moffat smooth in and around it. Chasing him, and that's not good. Well, got her back together, though.
Yeah, survives the stack up.
Yeah, holds his spot. Nice job by Randy.
Moffat running third right now. We got the view of the cars behind him on the left side and his view of the cars in front of him as we got chaos in the intersection.
721 of Kadrick Holt. Bad time to hit the brakes, buddy. But everybody gets through somehow as we're into the right-hand turns, and we stay going clean and green. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, 15-car Stinger 8 field, and things are saucy already in the intersection.
This is why I love figure 8 racing of all types. You see Diesel Snyder make the move and make it stick against Randy Moffat. Kadrick Holt, meanwhile, losing a lap to the 78 and the 85. Those two still battling for the race lead as we approach 7 into this one.
It's been a really good one, as Manning's a feature winner already in the season. He was the Superstock Figure 8 winner a little bit earlier on in the year. Now seeing if he can get the small car Figure 8 win.
He is pulling double duty tonight.
And Jenkins is looking really good, too. This is a great showing from Hunter. Sitting in the second spot as Team Jenkins just keeps throwing race cars together, and they're all getting faster.
I think Hunter's love of chaos sometimes makes us forget that he is a very talented race car driver. And it's really good to get to see that number 85 back out here. That is the same 85 from earlier on in the season. Hunter does not like letting cars go quietly into that good night.
Diesel Snyder making the move. Diesel has been so good in every division.
Whoa.
And then he gets into the back end. Something's wrong on the Manning 78.
There goes his tire.
So Manning with a tire down on the 78. And wow, the car's going to finish just a bit further than the tire, but it's all bad for Blaine Manning.
That's a tough break for your race leader.
Well, our Seattle 11 film crew got it all. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing. And let's take a look. And yeah, that tire is down by the time Snyder smacks in the back of him already. Down and off. And rolling.
I don't
Here's from
even have
Diesel's
like
point of view.
bonus theories. Did he tag the Uke tire? Is that what started it?
We didn't get a great view on it, but we at least got a couple of looks. So we've got to restack them, we've got to re-rack them, and that battle that we saw between Jenkins and Snyder will continue now, just without a leader to chase down. Hunter Jenkins will be up in the front, and Delaware style behind him. It won't be. It'll be Diesel Snyder up in the front.
Snyder credited with second at the line of the last completed lap.
Okay, so Moffitt and Jenkins in behind him with Hop and the rapidly ascending Dawson Cox already up to fifth.
Part of me wants to say shocker, but that's not really.
We know how talented Dawson is, as he's a feature winner in just about everything he's driven here.
Well, he's a figure 8 nationals champion, as much as he hates it when I mention that.
Hates it. He doesn't like cool trophies and money?
He likes to be remembered for his late model accomplishments, which he is a feature winner in that division as well. But
right. So sits in third now after getting around Moffitt on the restart. Moffitt trying to hold off Hop. As Hop hanging out, running in the fourth spot, keeping Hathaway behind him in fifth. As we go in car with the man who's Fred Flintstoning it around the track allegedly, Damon Claiborne.
Is Fred riding with him today? He's in a different car than usual. He does battle with Riley Riddell and Matt Snyder.
Kind of tucked in around the far
I think he might have gotten
reaches
tagged
of
there
the
by
right-hand
the
turn.
15.
So Claiborne trying to gather her back up together as we watch Hop sail it in. Didn't quite use the front bumper, but it was close. As he trails around the multicolored car of Randy Moffitt. Well, let's take a second. We've got to thank the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Buzz Inn Steakhouse, the sponsor of our Stinger 8s. They serve hand-cut Angus steaks, breakfast all day, and mouth-watering burgers. Visit one of their 11 locations, the Buzz Inn Steakhouse, for a great deal on a great meal. Buzz Inn Steakhouse, your best choice.
So it is Diesel Snyder, Hunter Jenkins, Dawson Cox, your top three right now as we continue to have some intersection action. Dawson really showing off just that little bit of versatility, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Is a late model driver in a four-cylinder car.
He unfortunately dropped one spot, maybe two here. Let's see if he can scramble and get it back.
He is going to have the inside line.
At least through that corner, but now you got to go through the intersection again. Big checkup, and he's going to drop the spot to both Hop, and here's Somerville to the inside. Now Moffitt snuck out of line, and Peyton to the inside of him, with Somerville on the attack, looking for what would be fourth here.
Now Dawson also coming under fire from the 20 machine of Riley Riddell.
A couple drivers working out of the same camp as it's Somerville peeking forward and taking the spot. Now Cox trying to get one back as he'll go door panel to door panel with Moffitt.
I think this is a really great demonstration. Dawson gets tagged of how volatile this class can be as he goes from third, now in fifth, now getting knocked sideways by the cars around him.
Cadric Holt took the big old U-turn and said, nope, this intersection isn't for me. I'll just make another right-hand corner. No big deal.
I love figure 8 racing.
Yeah, well, we're 17 in. You still got 13 more laps of it here in the Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8s. This has been fun.
And it looks like Somerville just pulled into the infield there.
Something break on the 21 car?
No, I think might have been serving a penalty as he will return.
Okay.
Snyder's still your leader. Jenkins still in second. And now Peyton Hop in third. Dawson checking up once again, and the 20 nabs the 717 in the intersection.
Riley Riddell tags your leader, and the new leader is Hunter Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins back in control. Officials making sure the 717 not dragging any parts or being a risk to any other drivers.
Oh, it's dragging a bumper cover at least, but
Diesel does not seem to care.
not really affecting the handling of the car as he quickly rolled back in on Jenkins.
Not even sure if it nabbed the left rear wheel. We'll take a look.
We're going to get a caution.
Yeah, we'll get the yellow, and it does look like we have replay.
All right, so Riley Riddell is the one facing down straightaway here as here's a look. Here's the incident and thump right in the left rear corner panel, but corner panel only. I don't think it got the tire and wheel. That's part of the reason Snyder's been able to continue.
Yeah, view from Somerville's car. You see, I agree. I don't think he got him in the wheel.
So here's Hathaway's look at it. as he comes off the turn, and there is Rudell slowing and coming up. Riley, hard to say what might be wrong on the 20 car, but something worth coming to a stop for. So, caution flag out. Reset the front of this lineup. Hunter Jenkins now gets the top spot.
Yeah,
now it'll be Snyder chasing him around on the Delaware style.
So Hunter Jenkins in control. Snyder, Hop, Cox, and Somerville your top 5.
Next time by, we'll see the green flag out once again with 11 laps remaining.
Drivers told bunch it up.
Cox and Somerville in that second row, in behind him, third row Moffitt and Claiborne. Now it's coming through the corner. Hunter Jenkins bringing us back to green flag action.
Back underway. Jenkins going to lead us into the first corner. You see Snyder jump ahead. Doesn't completely clear the 16, but whoa, Hop gets sideways, and that'll free your top 2 as well. As let the JBR cars get by, the 10 and the 21. Now battling for third, Somerville versus Cox.
They were 3 wide for a blink of an eye. Here comes Somerville making the run. Meanwhile, Snyder wedges his way to the inside on Jenkins, and Jenkins a love tap in through the corner, but Diesel stays in the gas.
I don't know if there's anywhere for Jenkins to go. Looked like it was either keep the car there or run into the Uke tire at the end of the day.
And Uke tire bad. So
Uke tire very bad.
it'll be Snyder retaking the lead out in front. Jenkins too, and Somerville now on the prowl. He looks to have second as they make their way into the North Pole here and make the left-hand turn. We'll be down to 8 to go. Matt Somerville's got the runner-up spot.
Cox going to try and follow him through. Poke the nose right there to the inside of the 85, falls back. Allow him to set up something here.
Everybody kind of settling down, waiting for that intersection to jump up again. You can already see the tail end of the line, Derek, as it's going to play a factor before
Jenkins
this is
goes up
over,
the
I'm
hill.
sure. So Jenkins wide. There's Cox looking for third. They're going to go door panel to door panel into the South Pole, the right-hand set of corners. Peyton Hop also closing in, and nice rebound there from Jenkins. Somerville right on Snyder for the lead at third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, all getting after it.
Intersection is hot as could be. Coming through here, trying to navigate Holt, and the 16 nabs him. And around goes the 85 afterwards.
Oh, Jenkins spun out, getting into the turn. Hop with a little contact in the intersection, and ooh, a one-handed salute out the window from the 85 car, as we will see a caution flag. Well, Hunter Jenkins, it was a bit out of screen when it started, but we're about to get a look 3 times here at the replay as he goes side by side with Cox. And I don't know that there's any reason for a one-handed salute coming out of there. Just kind of overcooked it getting into that turn.
I think it was more of a comment of the car struggling to refire or something. Because he goes around.
But he makes it by relatively clean. You can see that big correction right here to try to get her turned as Hop makes contact in front of him. And that will polish off the 85. Well, we've got about 6 more laps left here in this main event for the Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8s, and we will get to them after this commercial break here on Home Track Heroes. We are back here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. You are smack dab in the middle, heck, near the end of the Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8 main event. I'm Caleb Hardy as Derek Todoroff. Derek, we have got Diesel Snyder sitting up in the catbird seat, and everybody chasing him with 6 laps to go as we're coming to green.
It is Cox and Somerville behind him. 2 very successful drivers in the Stinger 8 division. And they're going to solve it right here. 6 laps left. Green back in the air from the flag cave. Somerville and Cox side by side. Both of them trying to get to Diesel Snyder. Claiborne and Hop running 4 and 5.
Hop trying to make the move for third. He's to the outside of Cox as they are side by side for position. And Somerville using a little of that front bumper on Snyder. Remember, Snyder had his rear bumper cover kind of taken off in an earlier intersection action with Riley Rudell. So
It's still hanging on.
Yeah,
I can still see it.
there's remnants of it, ish, sort of. Well, Somerville not afraid to get in and give it a little tap as he is working on Snyder. He wants that lead spot.
This is the best battle on the track. Dawson, you see behind them in the number 10, 21 put the nose in there, trying to make his way through. Can't quite do it that time. Gives another big shot. 717 holds on to it.
And Diesel's a little squirrely. You can see he doesn't have the perfect handle on that race car. It's just a bit loose. Snyder not afraid to just lay the chrome horn to him a little bit. It's been nothing egregious yet, but that is figure eight racing. Naturally a little more physical. So we're going to come to the 2 to go signal this time around.
Snyder running some beautiful lines right now around this figure eight track. These entry points, exit points, setting him up perfectly to have as little opportunity for Somerville to get to his back bumper as possible.
It'll be 1 to go as they cross the intersection. May not see any intersection action before this one is done, as there is Somerville. Just a little tap, tap, taparoo as we'll come into it. White flag is out with Cody Weldon. Almost going around, and it gets wide for Snyder.
Snyder side by side with Somerville. This is how we're going to end it. Coming through the intersection for the final time. Somerville on the top, tries to cross over. Little bit of a bumper is not going to be enough. Checkered flies for Diesel Snyder.
Snyder hangs on, Somerville 2, and Cox, the substitute, running in position number 3. As we'll go talk to him on the Angel Winds Casino Resort podium.
Dawson, you were a force to be reckoned with for years in the Stinger 8 class. Sub duties this year. How's it feel to step back behind the wheel of one?
Actually, I love them. Every time I've driven it this year, I'm like, oh, I should probably build another one, and then I race some other stuff, and I get away from it. But after today, I think I'm going to have to. I was just having too much fun. I've never had so much fun in third place watching these guys battle for the lead. That was awesome. Neither of them crashed each other. That was good, hard racing. It was just cool to watch from third. I've never had that experience before.
Chaos unfolding all around you throughout the race. An exciting one, to be sure. How's it feel to get third here in front of all these fans?
Fantastic. I didn't wreck the car. I've had a pucker moment in the intersection with, I think, one of the Jenkins. I think it was Hunter, the 85 we went through, and I think he got clipped, and I thought for sure I was getting clobbered, and I've never panicked so much, but I made it through, and I was in a borrowed car, so it's in one piece. That's all I can ask for. Huge thanks to Cody Hoops for letting me drive it and all his sponsors. I don't know them off the top of my head.
Driver the 7D, Dawson Cox, third place tonight. Stingers at the fair, an old tradition I love. You've been racing this class a very long time. Taking home second tonight, what's it like doing it here at the fair?
Oh, it's super fun in front of a fair crowd. From my seat, there was just action the entire race. It was insane.
What more do you think you needed to get to Diesel?
I don't know. I pulled out every trick in the book. I tried all the dirty tricks. I tried to pass them clean. I don't know. We're just going to have to try again a different race, I guess.
Who would you like to thank for second place tonight?
Airport Welding and Muffler, John Bender Racing, Big Scott, my family, everybody back in the pits helping me out.
Driver the number 21, second place tonight, Matt Somerville. I have seen one other driver get hit in the intersection and go on to win the race. He's a two-time champion of this division, so I'd say you're in pretty elite company. What goes through your mind when you just get barely tagged there in the intersection?
This is gonna hurt or it won't. And I just floored it and went, hey, whatever. If it makes it the rest of the race, it makes it. If it doesn't, I put on a good show at least.
That you did. Battling with Matt Somerville there at the end. Walk us through what's going on in your head in those closing laps.
My car's really bent. He's really fast. We'll see where this goes.
Who would you like to thank for taking the win tonight?
First of all, my mom standing right here, my biggest supporter here. Valley Asphalt, Handy in the Valley. Snow Valley Bus Drivers, SC, Brandy Hood Promotions, Snowfalls Credit Union. There's a ton of people that make this possible for me. These awesome fans. I'm glad I could put on an awesome show for you guys tonight.
Your race winner, driver the number 717, Diesel Snyder.
Got spicy there at the very end, Derek, but a fun Stinger 8A main event, as they usually are here at Evergreen Speedway.
Of course, they like to steal the show any chance they can get.
Almost did her there. Let's give you a little more show. It's time for the Tire Pros Street Stocks. They'll go for 30 times around here on the 3/8 mile. Jim Fode's your pole sitter out of Edmonds, the trademark RCS number 85. To his outside, the 22 of Kenny Erickson out of Tulalip, sponsored by Central Welding. Second row is Marty Sokolsky in the 89 out of Woodinville, sponsored by Matthews Lumber. And to his outside, it is Stuart Harding, the 39 out of British Columbia, sponsored by Harding Forklift Services.
The number 69 out of Monroe is Austin Camp, sponsored by Phillips Law Firm, alongside his ARC Racing teammate 18J of Jackson Beckel out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Tire Pros of Arlington. Then comes the 06, your points leader, sponsored by Lang Automotive, hailing from Kirkland, that's Steve Potasic. And in the number 3, the Honey Badger out of Santan Valley, Arizona, sponsored by Tire Pros, that's Andy Soul.
And the 5th and final row, Scott Lacrosse in the 28. He's from Monroe, and it's University Audi of Linwood that sponsors him. And out of Bothell, the 42 of Tony Deegan, sponsored by IHOP in Monroe. 10 cars, 30 laps in what has been a adventure of a street stock class this year. Seems like every week something oddball is happening, something weird. Potasic has been the dominant force in the class, but Andy Soul, after coming out about mid-season or so, that 3-car, the Honey Badger, has shown lots of speed.
That he has. I'm excited to see what it can do this
To
night.
the point, the rear bumper cover on the 3-car says exactly what the Honey Badger doesn't do. You know what the Honey Badger doesn't do, right?
I believe I do.
Okay, good. Can't say that on network TV because we've got, censors and the FTC and all that good stuff. But the Honey Badger, he's nasty.
He doesn't care.
He does not. We'll find out what happens. He is outside row number 4. Potasic's on the inside with a bunch of veterans and fast race car drivers stacked up in and ahead of him. And coming off the corner, the Street Stock A main event is green.
Fode going to jump out there to the early lead. Got a great jump into turn number 1. Sokolsky going to try and follow him through here on the inside, but Erickson fighting back on the high, covers it off, and now he's in control of second. Top lane trying to get a bit of a run with Stuart Harding, Jackson Beckel, and Andy Soul on the outside of Sokolsky, Camp, and Potasic.
So 1 and 2 have separated. Everybody else still 2 by 2 for the next 3 rows behind them. As Fode leads Erickson, Sokolsky unable to get any advantage over Harding. Camp with a little bit of an advantage over Beckel to the inside, but there's 8 positions worth of cars all kind of stacked up with not a whole lot of room to maneuver, at least yet.
Fode remains in control. Erickson running there in second. See the 18J fall back from the outside of Camp. It's going to allow more wiggle room for the 69 to try and make something happen as Potasic slides underneath the 18J.
Steve wanting to use the bottom groove, closing in on the back of Austin Camp up and ahead of him. Potasic down on the very bottom, hugging the white line through 1 and 2 on the Brandy Hood Promotions in-car camera shot. On the left-hand side of your screen, looks like Harding's starting to figure out the outside groove as he is nosed ahead of Sokolsky and will take off after Kenny Erickson here. He'll pull the car down in corner number 1, and Harding's got third. The right-hand side of your screen, Potasic now with the chance to move up, move down as he is starting to wander to that middle groove. Sees Austin Camp starting to get a run on Marty Sokolsky, and I think Potasic might be angling to follow him through on the high groove.
He's got one of the faster cars. He knows he can try and make those higher lanes work. But he might think twice now that he's got company on the low side, that being the number 3 of Andy Soul. One of the only cars who's had comparable speed to him all season long, at least while he's been here.
Well, at least Potasic at this point in time, he is kind of lane committed. Soul is up high enough to his door panel that he can't logically tuck it back down low. Your top 3 of Fode, Erickson, and Harding still getting away. It's only 6 laps into this, but they are trying to add some distance in between them and everybody chasing them down.
Sokolsky still running fourth, holding off both Andy Soul and Steve Potasic. That's no easy task, to say the least.
Sokolsky doing a good job back there as well, as you see Potasic pressuring him up high. Soul not quite to the rear bumper, but getting closer. To that extent as well, Sokolsky is not far off from Austin Camp, so if Camp makes a boo-boo, Sokolsky could get right there and sneak that position away from him.
Or if Camp had some sort of problem, slid up the track, and checked up, that would affect Steve Potasic in his battle not only with Sokolsky, but also with Andy Soul, who's still in the picture.
Camp has gone up top on Stuart Harding. They go door panel to door panel for position number 3. Can Camp hold it through the first and second corners? He does well enough down the back straightaway, and the 69's a nose ahead going into the third turn.
Side by side, this is the battle for third. Harding holding that low groove. Well, Camp venturing a little higher.
Camp making it work upstairs, though. He'll continue trying to dial her in this time. Harding with the better exit at the second corner. And Stuart Harding reclaiming third. Harding is right up on the back of Kenny Erickson. Things might be shaking loose in second up ahead of him.
10 laps in, 20 to go. Yeah, Erickson defending very well from both these drivers, all while trying to apply that same pressure to Jim Fody. Harding sends it in. Ooh, got right to the back bumper. Don't see any contact, though.
Erickson starting to lose touch with Fody a little bit as Fody has opened up a couple of car lengths on him. Jim says, you guys want to race for it back there? Have at her. I'll take it. And stretch this advantage of mine as we go in cockpit now with Harding, who's trying to keep third and find a way around for second.
Oh, he's diving real low, trying to just get underneath the 22 going into these corners. Can't quite do it. Mentioned back there. Nope.
Well, as we get a look, and we'll stay in car here with Stewart in our dual box look, we got to say a big thank you to Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe, your one-stop transportation and RV center. From new vehicles to pre-owned cars and trucks, Speedway Chevrolet can locate nearly any make and model you are searching for.
And one of the big things I want to highlight with this 39, going through turn number 3, you see the sun blazing in the eyes of all our drivers as they make their way through 3 and 4 of the 3/8 oval. Another just factor to consider is to see the 39 get real loose off the corner. He's got Andy Soul on the back bumper, Austin Camp on the top.
Camp trying to find his way past. Steve Potasic has disappeared, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but Potasic...
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, way out of this picture. So where he was up working, I don't know, in and around the 5th and 6th spot, he's all the way back in scoring loop, has him bye-bye. No longer there.
I'm not sure if Potasic's still on track. I believe he's pulled into the pit area. Problems with the 06.
That will affect the championship battle that we've been watching all year long here on Home Track Heroes, which is brought to you by All Ply Roofing. As round the outside, Austin Camp continuing to work on Stuart Harding. Those two having a great battle for third. This one has lasted nearly all the laps as Tony Deegan says, I don't need no hood, and I don't need to go straight either, as he'll clean out Camp on the way by. Austin Camp. Boom. Tony Deegan, middle of the corner, and we're going to see it a couple more times.
Camp, the driver with the most to gain from troubles for Steve Potasic. That is not how he wanted this one to go.
Tony's going to need a new door stat as watch him again into the corner. And Deegan, who was going a lap down, oof.
Tony's car takes that a lot better than that 69 does.
Wow, Jackson Beckel barely got around the outside.
The ride along with Austin.
Oh. It's like I'm cruising, I'm looking for third, and then hello, disaster. From the inside, yeah, Austin Camp had just nothing he could do there. That's nasty. Well, on that note, take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish off the Tire Pro Street Stock main event here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Well, it's been an interesting Tire Pro Street Stock main event here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. We still have 12 laps to go. He's Derek Todoroff. I am Caleb Hart. Our program brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Jim Fody has led them all so far. Kenny Erickson right there with him. Stuart Harding in the 39 and the Honey Badger. Andy Soul in the 3-car outside row number 2 as we come back to green flag action.
Pace car takes that hard left. You might have also saw at the tail of that shot, the 06 machine Steve Potasic has returned to the field. Off turn number 4, though, another great jump for Jim Fody as we're back underway.
Now, he is going to be some lap down. Yes. It's been a bit since he's been out there, so if the 06 goes passing people, just remember that may not be for position right away. Andy Soul, High Groove, hello, as he's going to make his way into second. And Jim Fody, you got company out in the front of the field, to which Soul might have the lead of the line there.
Ooh, Soul being forced a little high. Fody making it difficult, but no fear from the Honey Badgers. He will go into the lead.
Look at that. Jim's racing one-handed. He is racing one-handed with the visor open, I believe.
Jim Fody
That's old school.
Jim Fody is driving his street stock like I drive my car.
He could be hanging out with a cup of coffee there as he rolls around. That is cool.
That is.
I remember mini stock drivers used to do that, but man, this is a V8 on a 3/8 mile. That's something.
This is beautiful. I love this.
And we know Fody's got lots of power in that car, so way to wear your gloves even though you're only using one hand, Jim. As Fody now getting some love from Stuart Harding. Harding trying to put some red paint on that yellow front nose piece as he is working over the back of Fody, and he has got Jackson Beckles 18 lingering and looking for room around him.
Yeah, Harding's definitely got his own company here. Jackson trying the high side against him. Might have some help from Kenny Erickson. All this while Andy Soul running away in that number 3.
Well, you know what the Honey Badger doesn't do? As behind him, that battle doesn't matter to him one bit.
No.
Out in front, it is Andy Soul, Fody, Harding. Now, Beckel getting involved in this. Jackson Beckel works high, cuts down low. See if he can find some space underneath Harding for the position, and nothing doing going into one.
Fody, one of the best at holding his line and knowing his racing line. Comes with the vast amount of experience he has behind the wheel of this street stock specifically.
Yeah, he's been running a very similar combination, car, motor, etc. for a very long time. As they're swinging to the outside goes Beckel. Door panels touching through the corner as this is becoming a fierce battle for third.
Yeah, side by side here in that battle for third. As I think we're hitting 4 to go as they come across the line.
Well, coming up later, you're going to get the Chain Link Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8s for absolutely the best car wash ever. Treat your favorite ride to the professionals at Chain Link Express Wash in Monroe. Chain Link Express Wash has multiple wash packages designed to meet your budget and needs. Manage your account easily on the go. Download the Chain Link Express Wash app from the App Store or on Google Play today.
Still zoomed in here. Battle second through fourth. Fody, Harding, and Beckel. Erickson at the tail of that in the number 22. Waiting in the wings for any sort of move. So is Sokolski.
Sometimes opportunity knocks at moments you don't think it's going to be coming through. As Fody continuing his really strong run in second, and Harding, he is just about exhausted the playbook here of ways to try to get around Jim. Meanwhile, Soul coming up and put him a lap down. Andy Soul, the Honey Badger, doing Honey Badger things. He's down the back straightaway with a ton of room between him and the rest of the field.
He's seen the white flag, and so through 3 and 4 for the final time. Andy Soul comes off the corner and is going to see the checkered and win the Tire Pro Street Stock Main.
Second to Fody. Good run for him, and Stuart Harding ends up the third place car crossing the line. And Jackson Beckel, careful, easy. So Beckel gets into the back of Harding, and a little touch, and oh yeah, you can't do that. Really can't do that on television, because now everybody's seen. So Harding full spin out of Beckel after Beckel gives him a love tap. Let's talk to your top 3 on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
All right, Kenny, you and Jim were battling out there for like the first 20 laps of that race, and ultimately fell back in the field a little bit, but some antics there are going to end up getting you up to third place. But you had a good battle with Jim. Just walk me through battle in the 85.
Yeah, we were battling hard. It looked like he was pushing a little, and I got into him a few times there, but all good fun, good racing, and yeah, I had a good time out there. Backdoored into this third place finish.
And who do you want to thank? Who helps you get the 22 car out here?
My dad in the pits, and my wife out here letting me do this all the time, and just the family. It's great.
All right, well, make some noise. Kenny Erickson, third place tonight in the 22. All right, Jim, quite the battle there. You were leading for at least the first, I think, 18, 20 laps of that race. You guys have been working on that car a lot, trying to get it right, but everything seemed to come together. You had a real fast car today. Walk me over what more you think you need to try to get to Andy.
I need a better car. I don't think I can catch Andy, but Andy's a good guy. He runs me clean every time. I love racing with these guys. You know, I got a lot of help lately is Jay, my brother, Ridgemark, who else? I've got a couple more. Everett Mazda. Who else? I got yours. What's yours? Amber Vista. Central Welding. My wife for putting up with me. That's a job in itself, believe me. Other than that, yeah, both my fans.
Well, it was a strong run for you. Second place tonight, got to feel pretty good after putting everything together. And what do you hope you think you can bring out for championship night?
Oh, I hope I bring the same car. It was a good car tonight, man. You don't get that very often, but it was tonight, man. I want to thank all my help again. I appreciate it.
All right, let's make some noise. Big smile for Jim Fody, second place in the 85. Well, Andy, for the first 10 laps or so of that race, you guys were really all pinned back there, about 4th through about 8th there, and everyone was really struggling to try to find room. Space kind of opened up for you, and once you got to the lead, it didn't look back. So walk me through those first 10 laps, and then once you found the room, kind of just being able to check out.
Yeah, it was actually about 18 laps. We were boxed in. You know, they were battling hard up front, and Fody I'm seeing Fody getting out there, just stretching a lead out, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I got to get up there and give him a run. But obviously, we had a caution, which bunched us back up, and then I was able to get out on the outside and make it work.
Yeah, only the half season so far for the 3 car, but 3 wins now on the year. Got to feel pretty good. Who hopes to get that car out here?
Yeah, all of our sponsors get it out here. We got Tire Pros, Fast Eddie, Performance Machine, Allply Roofing. I don't know them. Come up here. I did Performance Machine. I got them.
All right, we got them. Well, we're going to make some more noise. Your race winner tonight, the Honey Badger, Andy Soul.
Well, congratulations to Andy and the team. Great win for them. Dominant win. Took them a little while to get to the front. But boy, when the Honey Badger took off, the Honey Badger took off.
That he did.
All right, to the figure eights we go, Mr. Todoroff. This is a huge full field of Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock figure eights for their main event.
And they're being led by the number 45, a Chevy Vincent out of Darrington, sponsored by Pro H&S, alongside the 88, a Guy Litz out of Seattle, sponsored by Protocol Plumbing. Mackenzie Dietz drives the 67 out of Monroe, sponsored by BECU, alongside the 47 of Jeff Talbert out of Arlington, sponsored by Pilchuck Heating.
Row number 3, it's the Cowboy, John Carlson in the Bill Fleischacker 36, sponsored by Rev Up Energy, and the 5 of Quentin Borison out of Aberdeen driving the Mary's Towing Car. Row behind them, the 11 of Blaine Manning, double duty for him tonight. Be Happy Carpet Cleaning sponsors the 11, and Rick Yargis in the 17X out of Stanwood, sponsored by McCarthy General Contractor.
369 driven tonight by Jim Powers, sponsored by All Ply Roofing LLC. He's alongside the Grizz, Doug Delfell in the 01, sponsored by PCI. In the number 20 tonight, sponsored by Big Truck Service of Fife, that's Mike Cadell. Alongside the 43 is Sheridan Vincent out of Darrington, sponsored by Pitt Innovations.
Row number 7 is Chris Southard out of Everett, All Solved Plumbing on the 76S. To his outside, Captain Chaos, Jacob Funk going 8-cylinder racing. Yeah, baby, the 8 car out of Mill Creek, sponsored by PNW Traffic Control and Supply. Final row, it is Big Bird Robert Weldon, the 63 out of Arlington, sponsored by All Ply Roofing, and the 78 of Jeff Anderson out of Snohomish, sponsored by Rugged Radios. 16 cars. Help me out on this one. How is the main event lined up on this one? Time trials plus an invert?
Yes.
Okay, and that invert varies between 4 and full?
I believe so. I believe
Okay.
it was 6 tonight.
So, good looking field of cars, and boy, that third row is just an absolute classic with Cowboy and Quentin stacked up next to each other. We are green, and we are underway here for the Monroe Grocery Outlet Super Stock Figure 8 main. And guys, keep an eye on that intersection. It is bound to have something happening with this many cars.
We have 16 Superstock figure 8s on the track for their 30-lap main. Way being paved by Guy Litz. We're going to ride along with second place right now, Chevy Vincent on the right side of your screen.
On a car construction thing, you ever wonder why these cars don't have a traditional nose piece fiberglass cover over the front bumper? and so there's less to hit in the intersection. So as the nose isn't hanging out there nearly as far.
Every inch counts in figure eight racing when it comes to heading through the intersection. Anything can be grabbed. I mean, we got a brilliant demonstration right there, as well as earlier on tonight with Diesel Snyder when he was tagged.
Well, Guy Litz, who's had to put that car back together at least once here in the season, and more times than that overall. And you think if that nose was a couple extra inches out there, he might be missing it already.
It would be gone. It would have been cleaved off a moment ago. Chevy chasing him down.
Oh.
The young gun here in the number 45 going toe-to-toe with the number 67 of Mackenzie Dietz. Chevy, we're going to call the young gun until he takes those rookie stripes off the back bumper of the 45 machine.
Does he actually have stripes on there?
There's little yellow stripes.
And that's what those are for, huh? Good to know.
That's what we've interpreted them as for the past 2 seasons now.
So coming up and through, and you can see that intersection is already just a little scary. Anderson hesitated for it and got through. They're coming up on Southern. Look out! Guy Litz got the wrong end of the bumper from Chevy Vincent. And with 5 laps in the 88, facing the wrong direction.
Litz is around. They're coming up here on Southern, as you mentioned. Southern having some problems recently, has repaired the right side of that race car. As everyone being warned about Guy Litz, still stopped there.
Taking the scenic wide route around him, and now Vincent trying to get around Southern, and here comes Mackenzie Dietz. Door is open, and an ill-timed caution flag if you're a Dietz fan.
The yellow will fly for Guy Litz. Guy gets refired as we got the replays of the contact.
In and through the corner, I think. Okay, so your first glance in real time, it sure looks like Chevy just, goes monster truck on that whole deal. But that second look, here comes Guy trying to get back down into the racing groove, and you can argue a racing deal for sure.
I think that's 100% a racing deal. I don't.
Checking up if you're Chevy right there is probably a lot harder than it looks, although you never see the car go into dive as if he was trying to grenade the brakes. So,
although, I mean, in that position, if you slam on the brakes, you're probably getting hit directly immediately.
There is definitely 2 sides to that coin, like many things.
It's figure eight racing. That's the best way to put it.
Yep, you're going to have some physicality, and in this instance, it hurts Litz. And Vincent's going to stay up on that front spot here with Dietz and Talbert taking the slow, very deliberate way around the racetrack as we get ready to go back to green. 6 in, 24 to go here. And Vincent up front. This race has 4/5 of the way still to go. Look, I mathed.
Good job.
You're welcome, liberal arts major. We are through the corner and back to action. That's an uncharacteristically slow restart for these cars, too.
Oh, props for the 47, and that's not a good sign. That was a lot of smoke, and he tags Jim Powers on the way up.
A lot of smoke and nothing to get that race car in and around, so heartbreak for Talbert, who was running up in the top 3.
The season has not been kind to Jeff Talbert. And
some years are like that.
That might be a motor once more.
Depends on if there's fluid down, right? You would think if it's a motor that something's leaking, it may have created a venting hole in the block somewhere and fluid might be coming out of it. There's a lot of explanations.
Look
for the
out.
45. Oh boy, Vincent really had to fight there as well, then causing some chaos. Go figure. And now the Cowboy goes side by side with Dietz as they will race for second.
We got this beautiful view from the front bumper of Quentin Borison, the one-armed bandit running 4th right now.
So,
lots of sparks.
And Borison's going to have 3rd, it looks like, coming through the intersection. Quentin Borison moving the Mary's towing car up spot. Been a bad couple of laps for Mackenzie. So Borison now from the front bumper cam, taking a look on the back.
Uh-oh.
As things get complicated. Here is Anderson getting beaten around, and Dietz is going to pick some spots back up.
Borison races back up here into 4th, falls in line behind Mackenzie and Cowboy.
Cowboy getting ready for his trip back to Indianapolis for the 3-hour coming up soon.
Yeah, that's for the big one.
As he works the Flyshacker car still. And tucked in behind Chevy Vincent. Vincent was not at a clean path out in front of this. Will work his way underneath Weldon and put him a lap down with 18 laps to go.
Leaders working their way around Big Bird. Coming around once again, your race leader still Chevy, as you mentioned. Cowboy right there on his tail, though.
So Carlson doing anything he can to try to figure out the path around Vincent. Here comes the 369 up ahead of Jim Powers, and he's going to get
Powers moves aside.
Yeah, way out of the way. Hey, Jim, leaders are coming. Cool. I'll take the fourth groove. That'll be fine.
I'm sure the leaders are thankful.
Yes. To which Vincent continuing to put some laps down, and you can see the big checkup for the intersection. Funk was getting through, and I think they finally decided that it's time to give Jeff Talbert a better view of this race.
Yeah, the yellow lights will come on, yellow flag will fly. Here's the replay of that. So much smoke coming off that 47 of Jeff Talbert.
A lot of smoke, no fluid though. So let's see what the answer ends up being on Jeff and what went wrong on that car. As he will chill there, let's get another look at it from this angle. Around the outside with a little tag. And that'll do her. So we'll go to break. We'll finish off the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8 main event when we come up next here on Home Track Heroes. Well, this has already been an exciting Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8 A main event here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Derek Todoroff. Our show brought to you by All Apply Roofing. 17 to go, Derek. It's been Chevy Vincent up in front, but boy, second through fourth and even a little bit further back has been dynamic.
That it has, and I don't expect that to lighten up anytime soon. One driver having a pretty good run right now, Rick Yargis in the number 17X. Looking to see if he can continue with this top five, holding back such great cars as Delfell and Sheridan Vincent. We're back underway with 17 left.
All right, can Chevy hang through this? He has got the Cowboy in hot pursuit with Dietz and Borison right behind them. Just try counting all those feature wins that are sitting second through fourth at the moment behind Chevy Vincent. And, you know, if he was a little bit nervous, I'd understand as we get a look from the Rick Yargis car on the right.
Yeah, this is a lot right behind you if you're Chevy.
To that extent, the other day, I didn't realize that Borison has a racing trophy museum. Did you know that?
I did not.
Okay, so he came by, and I apologize, Quentin. I cannot remember the name of the driver whose trophy collection he just got, but a bunch of stuff from like 77 on back that he's adding to his gigantic room of restored and polished up trophies. Wow. If we ever get a chance, we'll have to take a look at it. But like, yeah, Borison is a collector of racing trophies and has essentially a garage full of them, like museum style. Kind of a cool thing that I didn't know about the One-Armed Bandit.
Well, Borison's run a lot here at Evergreen Speedway over the years.
1984. Wow. That is 41 years now. Yeah, long time for Q. Right now sitting in the fourth spot, trying to peek his way forward as Jacob Funk opting to be less chaotic and just chilling before the intersection.
Might be trying to get that car refired. The number 8.
One of the things, and again, had a good conversation with Quentin, is we're going to get a caution flag out. So yellow is going to fly, and we'll get those cars up and out of the intersections. He said his spotter is always alerting him, hey, car stopped at the intersection. Hey, car stopped at the intersection. So one of the things that helps with him is that when guys come up in here, he's going to hear about this on his in-cockpit radio and go, nope, I can't make it through. As Jacob chills and chills and chills. Let's watch again as he is sitting in behind Southern in the 76. And nothing happening. So we'll restack him and re-rack him.
Yeah, get everyone back in their proper place. Head of the restart for the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8s. Still a lot of time left to make some moves happen.
And much like the Stinger 8 division, they go Delaware style here. So that stacks them up 2 by 2 in behind the leader, Chevy Vincent. So Vincent, you look at it two ways. One, he doesn't have a car next to him, so he can go wherever he wants. But two, he also has 2 lanes right behind him, attacking him, both the high side and the low side. So he's got to be even more precise.
Well, the other thing I will note about Chevy's restarts, he seems to be taking them a lot slower than the rest of the Superstock Figure 8 field.
Yeah.
he seems very comfortable with that, and, that's the luxury of being the sole control car.
Well, if you feel like you can get through the gears and up into the racing range that you want to be in without busting the tires loose and still hitting your marks, makes some sense to do it that way. He'll do it again and continue holding the lead through the South Pole.
So you see Cowboy get clear of McKenzie. McKenzie under pressure both from McQuinn and now Sheridan Vincent in the 43, working his way forward. Pressure coming quick.
So up in front, it is still Chevy Vincent with Cowboy Carlson sitting second. Monroe Grocery Outlet, your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 70% less than traditional grocery stores. See Terry and Linda at the Monroe Grocery Outlet. Monroe Grocery Outlet, the proud sponsor of this Super Stock Figure 8 division, that are all running in a nice single file line with what could be a very busy intersection if it gets to her. You can see Southern pulling up and saying, I'm not junking my race car with this busy group coming through.
Yeah, so they're trying to stay out of it.
Oh! And he is right there as Borison into the back of him with nowhere to go. Let's see how that happened, as we just got done telling you that, there was some spotter heads up, but from the Yargis point of view, and whoops. Quentin pulls out. There's the stopped car.
Yeah, from his perspective, the 43 gets a little loose, goes up the track, and there's the 76S. That is a tough break for the 5, and McKenzie might have got a piece of it as well.
So one more shot coming off the corner. He ducks out of line and bang. Typically your stopped car also isn't so centered, right? Further off right or further off left than what it was. That was a massive impact.
That was a hard hit, and Chris Southard just finished rebuilding part of that car. We'll have to go back to work.
New parts for everybody. I love it. Well, I don't. That stinks for some of the drivers involved, and definitely changes the composition at the front of this field as bye-bye 5 car. Vincent, Carlson, Vincent, Dietz, and Yargis. Now your top 5 in this one with 10 to go.
As mentioned, good run for Rick Yargis. Top 5 for the 17X.
And he is digging to get that first podium finish for him. He has won and podiumed in bump to pass, but he has not done it in figure 8 yet.
Oh, certainly a showstopper in the bump to pass division.
We have had a ton of fun with the bump to pass stuff here at our fair shows, and looking forward to hopefully getting a little bit more of that, because we still have another fair show to go if you're getting ready to tune in for next week's Home Track Heroes.
Whoa.
Spoiler alert, Guy Litz has not had a great time here in this main event.
Yeah, we're back under green. Not sure what contact triggered that. Just saw the 88 go around. It is still Chevy in control over Cowboy, and a battle for third.
So Carlson continuing to look for opportunity to get around the 45 of Chevy Vincent. Vincent down to 8 laps to go. And keep an eye out. That intersection is going to get busy once again. You see a couple of cars back there. I know Anderson's been back there a little bit. There's the All-Ply Roofing, sponsored 63 of Robert Big Bird Weldon. Our show brought to you by All-Ply Roofing all year long. Big thank you to those guys. As now, how are they going to navigate it? Doug Delfell using the intersection to shoot the gap and try to take a spot away from Sheridan Vincent.
Yeah, Sheridan checking up, perhaps deciding, let's stay out of trouble this time. Fair. Honestly, it's been a...
I wonder if there's some collusion. And I say this. Do Delfell and Weldon get together and say, the banana-colored cars shall not collide?
I don't know. They're two long-time drivers out here.
Right? But do you think they go because both of our cars are yellow, we can't hit each other? That would just be an affront to all the banana-colored cars in the world.
Do I think that?
Yes.
No, I don't think that.
Why wouldn't they? They're Team Potassium.
Sure.
Your battle for the lead on the left-hand side's got Chevy Vincent, John Carlson, and Mackenzie Dietz. Coming into slower traffic. Jacob Funk getting wide. Carlson pouncing at the opportunity. John Carlson, right place, right time. And you've got a new leader.
Never leave the door open for Cowboy. He will strut in.
Got his dancing boots on as now he's tucked in behind Big Bird. Here's Dietz looking to take advantage. McKenzie rolling right up in the back bumper of John. But Weldon out of the way just in time. And Carlson will hold the lead as they come into 2 to go.
So Cowboy, Dietz, Chevy are top 3. Reordered a little bit now. As the clock is ticking, time running out. McKenzie, though, right here on the back bumper, they have formed a gap to Chevy. What will the 6-7 do to get by the 36?
And don't be surprised if she doesn't give him a little love tap here going into the South Pole and going into the North Pole. We're down to 1 to go. Doctor's jacket out in the air and through the intersection for the final time. Carlson times it up right. One more left-hand turn, and this one goes to the Cowboy. As John Carlson gets the W, Dietz gets second and third to Chevy Vincent.
Well, great race from the Mineral Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8s. Cowboy bringing it around. You see the front bumper is saluting the sky on that 36 machine.
It got a little usage, right?
He's going to burn it down.
We're getting a traditional Cowboy celebration out of John Carlson as
I think Chevy was joining at the top of the screen as well.
Hey, why not? Tires are evil. They shall be punished. As we will get Cowboy done with the smoke show. And here is the traditional Cowboy Carlson fence climb.
Well-known favorite of Derek Hobbs's.
I appreciate the precision in which he's getting this done. In which, yeah, swing that leg up and over.
Up on top, giving a salute to the crowd. Time to meet your Angel of the Winds podium.
Well, Chevy, you had a fast race car that whole race, leading a lot of it. Unfortunately, some lap traffic, wrong place, wrong time, but still get up on the podium, talk about just running that last 10 after the restart.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough. My car, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I shaved another bolt off or not, but it's struggling to turn, and it was a battle the whole time, especially knowing Cowboy and McKenzie are behind me and just trying to hold my line. And then lap traffic, I mean, it just played a factor, and it sucks, but still third place.
And who helps you get that 45 out here and up onto the podium?
I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, Pit Innovations, my Nana, Aunt Heidi, Annie M's Dog Spa, and Pro H&S.
All right, we'll make some noise. Third place tonight, the Young Gun, Chevy Vincent. All right, McKenzie, it came down to a late race restart with 10 to go, and you and John starting on the second row in the Delaware style. Talk me through those last 10 laps, and what more do you think you needed to get to Cowboy?
I would just like to point out I didn't touch his bumper. After last weekend, this is just so much fun. I enjoy it. I don't know what I had for him. Maybe new tires, which we get next race. So maybe that'll give me a little bit more to get him. But, after last weekend, I didn't want to touch any bumpers. And, I was okay with second place finish.
Well, your guys' battle for a title is coming down to the wire. It's going to come down to championship night now. How much has that been on your mind as you're getting in these the nitty-gritty?
Every single day. My husband and my crew and we're in the shop every week trying to make sure that, we have everything ready to go on race day. And, we had a couple DNFs last year, and we're trying to put ourselves in a position where we don't run into that this year. And it's really paid off with all the work that myself and my crew have done. So I really appreciate them.
And who are those people, and who are some of the sponsors to help you get this car out?
My husband, Jake Rappin, for everything that he does. Mike Hathaway, my dad, my mom. There's so many people to name. But BECU, Buzzin' Steakhouse, Bickford Ford, Two Girls Gift Shop. If you're ever in Stanwood, look them up. They have some really good garlic dip, which we got tonight. I'm excited to have some now that I'm not having to put a helmet on. Ghostum, Delta Cams, I don't know if I said Rep and Welding and Rail, that's my husband's, but just everybody that supports us, the fans, thank you for coming, and I hope you guys show back up on championship night and get to watch a show.
All right, let's make some noise. Second place tonight, the 67, Mackenzie Dietz. All right, John, a solid run, a similar spot, restarting on the second row, but everything just kind of braked right in front of you, and you took the spot. Did you feel like you had a winning race car tonight when you were battling your way through the field?
Yeah, I definitely had a good car tonight. Been changing a couple of things, and it was really good. But it's just kind of one of those races where you just kind of have to bide your time and wait for certain things to happen. Running with Chevy, he was running really good. There wasn't much I was going to do to him if it came down to a last lap. I was going to try a little bumper maneuver, but that traffic messed him up and got him, and I just started to dig for it and just ran with it from there.
It's going to be a real tight battle between you and Mackenzie. Championship night right around the corner. How much are you paying attention to that as you come into the final weekend, and how much would that mean to you to capture another title?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool, and that would be the first one for Bill with the Superfly car if we could pull it off. But, we'll just take it as the night goes, and it's a pretty big bite to take. Not saying it couldn't happen, but it could. But we'll just race the night and take what we get.
And who helps you get this 36 machine out here all the time?
Oh, you're going to make me pull the list out because I got a whole bunch of people here, and it's going to take me a minute to get this list out. I should have been a little bit better prepared. It's been in my pocket the whole time. So, all right, so we got Papa's Bar, Rev Up Energy, B&R Machine Works, which is Brian. He's our crew guy, helps out a bunch on the car. Where are we at? Central Welding, Sky Valley Tree Service, SRP Transport, and the Fireplace Guy.
All right, make some noise for your race winner, the Cowboy, John Carlson.
We are back here on Home Track Heroes, storming along here on a Sunday night. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I am Caleb Hart. He is our speediest turtle, Derek Todoroff, as we are ready for the BECU Mini Stock A main event. It is going 30 times around. Looks like we got 14 cars. And Bobby Fisher sits on the pole of this one in the 81 out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Reese Construction. Outside of him, it is the 4 of Cole Reardon out of Grand Falls, sponsored by Bob T. Builder. Second row, Dawson Cox, busy night for him in the 88 out of Arlington, sponsored by Tire Pros. And to his outside, it is the 221 Lyndon Smith out of Everett, sponsored by PRCBD.
Inside row number 3, driving the number 18 out of Snohomish, sponsored by Allied Motorsports. That's Paisley Bender, alongside the number 12 of Gavin Ballou out of Marysville, sponsored by Absher Build LLC. Inside row number 4, the 61 out of Snohomish, sponsored by Debbie and Dan Chernesky. That's Randy Dittmers alongside the 17. The car Ben likes to call the test dummy, the Tom's Automotive Arlington native Jonah Vick in the number 17.
In the 5th row to the inside's Keegan Mooney out of Bellevue, car number 11, sponsored by Liquimolly. And the 14 of Isaiah Gill to his outside out of Parkland. He is sponsored by Conoco. And the 6th row, Ethan Payne out of Gig Harbor. The 21 cars on the inside, sponsored by Alpine Equestrian in Gig Harbor. To his outside, Zach Bristol, tail end Charlie Almost, the 97 out of Snohomish, sponsored by Racers Against Child Abuse.
The number 59 out of Arlington is Tegan Bjornsson, sponsored by the Newell Corporation, alongside the number 16 of Travis Woodward out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Simon and Son Towing.
A lot of fast cars at the very, very back of this, and especially if it can be a get-right race for a guy like a Woodward who has been battling things all year long, and we know Bristol missed time trials. That's why he is buried so far here in the field.
Well, there is no hood on the number 16, which I would speculate is why he is buried so far in this field.
So it's a hoodless Travis Woodward. It works. You're fine. We're coming through the corner. It is Fisher and Reardon. Those two have been battling out front all year long. To the green as the BECU Mini Stock main underway.
And that top lane gets a great jump here at the top of the race. 81 machine trying to fight back on the low side, but will be cleared by the 4. Here comes Lyndon Smith, slinging it up in that middle groove as well.
By hook or by crook, we have not gotten a chance to see a lot of 481, 221 battles up the front of this field. Something tends to go just a little bit sideways for one of them, and they've got to make a charge back up, or the car's not quite running right in the night. Here we're going to get it. So Reardon's going to be your pace setter. Fisher going to follow him, and it's going to be Smith darting around, seeing if he could be the guy to play spoiler in the Honda battle out in front of the field.
Well, we've seen a lot of great long-run speed out of the 221 this season. We go riding along with Jonah Vick in the number 17 on the right side of your screen. that the long run, that's been the secret to the 221 of Lyndon Smith. Raritan and Fisher both great jumps on restarts, great runs in the short 5-lap time frame. But once we get to 10, that's when you see the 221 come to life.
Waning hours of daylight as the lights popping on around Evergreen Speedway here, and those three are freight training coming out of the corner. Raritan starts entering the corner a little earlier and carries the inside of the white line till about the apex before starting to drift up. You can watch Fisher and Smith running slightly different lines in behind them. Smith with the big push to the inside, couldn't quite get all the way underneath Fisher coming out of 4.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with Smith specifically is he's trying to find his way through. 81 playing both an offensive and a defensive line. 4 gets to play his favorite line, while the 221 of Smith, he's got to just go on the attack here. He knows time is of the essence. Even if you've got the faster long-run car, every second, every 10th, every 100th counts when you're racing against the number 4 of Cole Raritan.
Especially with Raritan starting to distance himself from Fisher. Smith is not going to be in a position where he has to make up a bunch of ground and then try to get around Raritan rather than have to run him down from a short distance. So we'll see how quick he can, if he can, dispose of Bobby for that second position. But Fisher has been tough all year long, and he has got the spot for now, as we'll go dual screen again and get a look inside what's happening in the Fisher car.
I'm very interested to see his wheel work. You know, compare that to Jim Fody in the street stock class. We get to ride along as well. Big dust cloud there on the backstretch with the 81. The very different sort of style of wheel work as he's fighting here, trying to hold off Lyndon Smith, who's right there on the inside. You can see him in the rearview mirror.
Fantastic camera shot from our Brandy Hood Promotions team, Brandy and Saxon and Ashley. And if you want an interesting point on the Fisher car, if you want to see how much steering wheel input he has, it's an MPI steering wheel, which has got an orange marker when you center the wheel. Okay, hey, my wheels are straight, perfect. Put that orange marker right down the center of it. That way he can go back and look at this and see how much steering wheel input he's got. So normally that orange marker sits right at 12 o'clock on the face of a clock, and you're seeing he's taking that thing all the way over to, I don't know, 10:30, 10.
I've seen it hit 9 in some of these corners.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that when hitting 9, that's where he's scrubbing the most speed out there. So you can watch that on the right-hand side, or on the left-hand side of your screen, Zach Bristol moving in the 97. He's picked up a lot of spots. That's for 5th coming up the corner in just 11 laps.
Yeah, he's up into the top 5.
12-5 run in 11 laps.
Yeah, that's impressive there. Smith up into 2nd. We saw him make the move on Bobby Fisher. He begins his pursuit of Cole Raritan, which he has.
Ooh.
Was swinging there for the fences, trying to get underneath the 4. Now going to the top as they split the 11 of Keegan Mooney. Dittmer's the next car in line. Smith goes there once again.
Wow. Raritan holding the lead, but Lyndon Smith driving like a man possessed as Keegan Mooney goes around and collects a little bit of Fisher and a lot of bit of Dittmer's with him. We'll see the caution.
Yellow will fly.
I did not want to see that race go yellow. Holy cow.
Oh, I guarantee you Smith didn't either.
So there we go upstairs, and yeah, Mooney not quite clear of Dittmer's.
2 points of impact on the 81.
Yeah, front contact from the 61 to the left rear of the 61. Let's take a look again here. Into the corner, you can see Dittmer's getting to the left rear of Mooney, and Fisher got it all down the right-hand side of the car.
So here's the ride along with Mooney as he follows. You can see how much room was left for the 221. Not much at all.
Hey, bang.
And the heavy contact between those two.
11 looking for a new hood sponsor. It's not quite the Christmas tree air freshener from the inside of the car, but I like it. It's distracting. Mooney gets tagged in the front, and unfortunately for him, even with the cool digital display gauges, he will go to the back of the field if the 11 car can stay running. Fun run up front, though, Derek, as Lyndon Smith, man, was he hauling trying to find his way around Raritan.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I told you he had a long-run car.
Well, let's see if he can do that. We got 13 straight, and we'll see if he can get 17 more as we watch the BECU Mini Stock Main Event. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Raritan, Smith, Fisher will restart third, albeit with some car damage, and Dawson Cox in the 4th spot. Bristol 12-5 here on the restart.
Pretty hefty impact on the right side, you will see when he comes back around. As working their way through turn number 3, creeping off of 4. Raritan and Smith, the fastest Honda, the fastest Ford. Time for a showdown.
To the green we go. Smith with a really good start. Gonna go number to number with Raritan down the back straightaway here. Oh, this could be a shootout. Nosing ahead. I think this is Lyndon Smith at the line. That's close. Give it to Raritan for now, but boy, that was narrow.
These two are neck and neck. We ride along with Dawson Cox, the car behind him. Get to see the differences in the lines, how they're taking these corners from Dawson's point of view.
That time, I think Raritan had the little better lap. You can see Smith just pedaling as hard as he can, but Raritan the better launch from the inside that time.
Well, Lyndon's taken every inch of the racing surface.
As he should, you know, running the high groove. It's a momentum-based groove. You got to keep your foot in it as long as you can, and that means you wash a little bit further up the racetrack. So be it, but it's all about keeping your speed up.
He will fall back. It does look like the 4 is clear, but the 221, not going to let him get away. We're going to start to enter that mid-run and then long-run territory, where the 221 definitely has the advantage. Meanwhile, battle for third, Bobby Fischer trying to get to the inside of Dawson Cox. He's got bonus pressure from Zach Bristol.
Cox has got the podium run going. It is Bristol sitting 5th, currently making a Bobby Fischer sandwich. Bobby back to the bottom, trying to find room underneath Dawson. Dawson content in the middle right now, and Bristol just looking for opportunity to get by the 2.
And you're getting a view of the right side of that 81 as he goes through turn 1 from our turn 1 camera. It is caved in, almost like someone just took a hammer to it. As we'll get another view right here. Look at that number 81's right side.
Oh yeah, gonna be some time with the rubber mallet in the off week, that's for sure. As it is Cox from the high groove in the JBR 88. It's leaving enough room for Bobby down there, so racing him clean, but right now Dawson Cox has got the better race car around the middle of this track.
10 to go here.
Bristol thinking about sneaking up on the inside as Fischer with a really big run through 1 and 2. He's going to restake his claim to 3rd spot. We will take an opportunity and thank BECU, Boeing Employee Credit Union, believing in people over profit. Discover the BECU difference. BECU, committed to your financial well-being. Check out the all financial program offerings at becu.org. That's becu.org.
So Fischer up into 3rd. Bristol trying to come up here into 4th. Raritan and Smith, meanwhile, 1st and 2nd. We're riding along with Paisley Bender in the number 18. The view of this battle for 4th.
Paisley cruising around in 7th place at the moment. Good outing for her, top half of the field. She watches Gavin Ballou up in 6th, who's having a nice run as well, and hoping for opportunity there as Bristol has got that inside lane and trying to push his way forward. Back up front to your lead on the left-hand side of the screen from the speed cam, and flash back another position or 2 to the battle for 4th between Bristol and Cox.
Crossing the 10-lap mark on our run here, our green flag run. Like I said, this is where the 221 starts to shine, start to come to life for Lyndon Smith. Slinging it hot there into the corner, chasing down the number 4 of Cole Raritan with 5 laps remaining.
Raritan trying to hang on to Smith. Car trying to get stronger on the 221 as you see him slipping around, throwing the car half a groove higher. Gets good drive into the bottom of the corner, but Raritan, technically excellent, keeps the low lane sealed off, and Smith will have to try a different path.
See him look to the mid groove at the start of those corners and all the way back up to the top on the exits. 3 to go this time. As a big gap between them and 3rd. Fischer in sole control of that 3rd place spot. But Lyndon Smith gonna have to pull a rabbit out of the hat if he wants to get to the number 4.
We've been waiting to see this battle all through the summer, and we're getting a whole lot of it right here with slower traffic Approaching at the back of the field, that is Gill in the 14, who is going up a half a groove. He'll let the leaders get by on the inside. They will streak their way to the white flag one more time around the next time by.
No trouble there for your top two as they get past Gill. There it is, white flag one more time around for Cole Raridan. Smith right here to the back bumper off of 2. Might have just got loose.
Tried to throw the car around, find some extra speed. Not there. Tonight belongs to Cole Raridan. One more step towards the season championship as Raridan gets the win. Second to Smith. Bobby Fisher got away from the rest of the field, and he ends up third. Good race tonight for the BECU Mini Stocks. We'll talk to the top 3 on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Bobby, you got back up on the podium after being involved in an incident early in the race. Talk about having to drive back up here.
The car felt fine. It just looks like body damage, so I just continued pushing. No big deal.
It's been a series of unfortunate events at times for you, but another podium's got to feel pretty good for the 81 team. Who helps you get it out here?
Reese Construction, Misfit Motorsports, Gary Fisher Construction, Raridan Racing helps me a lot. Full Throttle Graphics, Rich Tune Motorsports, all those guys help me a lot.
All right, we'll give it up. The strong run for the 81 tonight. Third place, Bobby Fisher. Lyndon, for those closing laps, it looked like you were throwing everything you could at the 4 car, just a couple tenths behind him at the end, but second place for the team's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the car was amazing all day. We were trying for the clean sweep, but I mean, as you can see with the Hondas and the Mustangs, it's a little bit different. It's been quite the competition. Cole's been a great competitor all season. He's been dominating, so we've been doing everything we can to catch up. I got to dedicate this race to my stepdad and my spotter, Joel. It's his 52nd birthday today. He came into my life when I was 6 years old. We started racing 6 years ago. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. My grades were slipping, and this was the motivation we needed. So thank you so much, Joel. I got to give a huge shout out to Central Welding, Brandon Built Kitchen and Bath, Bosworth Trucking and Grading, Performance Machine, my crew chief, Dave Riddell. He's been amazing help this year. He's the reason the car's so fast. And I mean, wow, what an amazing race. I tried so much. Thanks everybody who stayed. I hope you guys are having fun at Fair, and I'll see you guys next race.
Lyndon Smith in the 221. Cole, this is your Evergreen Speedway leading 6th victory of the year. And that was a tougher one to work for because Lyndon, it felt like throwing everything it could at you. At any point, did you feel like he was going to get around you, or did you feel like you had the car underneath you for the whole time?
The car was underneath me, but yes, there was a point where I know that car is good on the outside, and he gave me a run for my money. It was an awesome race. It was super fun to participate in that. We kept it clean and fast, and I had to work for it. I'm tired.
Well, that 4 car has been bad fast all year long, and you are cruising one more race until you can call yourself an Evergreen Speedway champion. What is that going to mean if you're able to close this out?
I mean, I can't put it into words right now. I'm humbled to be where I'm at and have the people that support me, the people that help me on setup, and my team and my sponsors. I don't know. I'll have to talk about that and think about it for the next time.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get the car out here?
Well, I got to thank my crew, my girlfriend Jenny, spotter. She does an amazing job. My daughter Kalia, her boyfriend Lucas. There's Sean Norton. There's Royce Tanner. My uncle Darren shows up all the time. My dad, Bob, Joy. And then my sponsors, Bob T. Builder, Royce Tanner Racing, NPM Welding and Fabrication, Full Throttle Graphics, Finish Line Drafting Design, Bickford Trailers, BECU. Thank you to the fans. Thank you to Evergreen Speedway. That's it.
Cole Raridan, everyone. Your race winner tonight in the BECU Mini Stocks.
It is the final segment of the night here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Thank you guys for being here. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing. He's Derek Todoroff. I'm Caleb Hart. Derek, your Outlaws are on the track. The Chain Lake Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8A main.
8 cars ready to tear it up around the figure 8. Leading the way, driving the number 767, Jamie Corbett, hailing from Arlington, sponsored by A1 Auto Service Center. He's alongside the JE55 of Jessica Wilkinson out of Marysville, sponsored by Pilchuck Heating and Air Conditioning. The 83G, that bright orange machine, sponsored by Brundage Bone Concrete Pumping, is Zach Larson. He's alongside the Vern Dietz throwback, the number 9, Dakota Wilkinson, out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Tony V's Garage.
Row number 3 is loaded with the 51 of Ryan Clark out of Granite Falls, the Action Machine car. To his outside, it's Chris Curtis, the 74, out of Tulalip, sponsored by Bulldog Haven Northwest. Final row, Haley Wilkinson out of Lake Stevens, the Cobalt Cycles number 35, and Ricky Dietz, the 676, out of Arlington, sponsored by Tire Pros, the shop of Arlington. So 8 cars, 30 laps, lots of stories to follow as we will see how it all sorts out with Corbett and Wilkinson leading a fast field in behind them.
Primary points battle between the 51 of Ryan Clark, who currently leads Zach Larson's 83 in the Outlaw point standings.
Keep an eye on Dietz. Talking to him as they lead up to this, they thought they found something that's going to help them get the power down in the 676 a little bit better. They think they've been having a problem in the rear differential all year long, so we'll see what's going down as we're off, running, and underway. Green's out.
Corbett going to take the early lead. Dakota going to follow on through. We're 3 wide almost immediately for third. Dakota up into second. Contact between the 83G and the JE55. While the MBQ teammates running hard there, and Curtis gets into the back of Larson. Larson gets real sideways. We're off to a really chaotic but exciting start to this one.
Yeah, Curtis also got cattywampus when he got into Larson. I think it prevented him from driving underneath Zach at the same time. So we'll watch him get up and fired, and you can tell there's some race cars right now that are not operating at maximum capacity. You look at Larson, Curtis, etc., and those cars just look a little snug in the early going. We'll see if that changes as this race gets long.
Corbett, Code, Zach Larson, your top 3 right now.
Take a picture of that and frame it in the background with the Ferris wheel all illuminated. The Outlaw Figure 8's coming around the South Pole. Very cool imagery.
Take a photo of your TV screen.
Here we go. Now let's watch from Dietz's point of view with the packed grandstands. And yeah, now coming into the fair in the south end. That's dope. Ricky Dietz putting some laps together with the Brandy Hood Promotions in-car camera. He sits 5th in the running order right now, behind Curtis. Curtis looking for any way around Zach Larson, and Larson eyeballing Dakota Wilkinson for a spot up ahead of him as they're all stretching out single file around the track in the Outlaw Figure 8s at the moment.
Getting to see a little bit of Dietz's specialty where he kicks that car sideways, lets the back really slide for a bit, an attempt to just keep the throttle going throughout these corners. One of the signature pieces to the 676 machine.
Yeah, you can say that Dietz has a style that's a little bit different from everybody else out there. You know when Ricky Dietz is fast because that rear end is just kind of hanging loose on corner exit on all the turns. Again, they were searching for something mechanically to help them get more of that massive horsepower that he has in that car down to the track as things up in the front start to get tighter. Wilkinson up on the back of Corbett on the left-hand side.
Saw Larson get a little loose on that last corner. As this is your top 6, all in a single file line, chasing one another. Dakota right on the back bumper of Jamie Corbett, has Larson on his, then Curtis, Dietz, and Clark.
Corbett running smart right now as they will put Wilkinson a lap down. Wilkinson Jessica version, bid for second coming into the turn. Here's Larson taking a look to the outside, nothing going there.
Held off by Dakota. As we cross 10 laps in, 20 to go.
And we've talked about this before, Derek. A bit to the outside there on the North Pole. Not so much about making the pass on the North Pole. It's about staying as close with Wilkinson. That way you can beat him to the inside of the South Pole as possible.
Curtis made a little bit of contact there with Larson. Through the corner, a little bit more. That blue bumper meeting the bright orange. This is a close race. Really a bit of a train right now, running up front.
Doing their best to imitate an energy drink can out there if they get their colors swapping over on those bumpers too much. Larson trying to hold position as he is feeling it from Chris Curtis. Curtis has got Dietz and Clark tucked right in behind them, so something's going to have to break here sooner rather than later as we're getting close to halfway.
There's a big shot into the back of the 9 from the 83. The 83 gets a shot from the 74.
It's like watching an accordion fold up and unfurl, right?
Yeah.
As they come off the turn, again, getting a really great look. That GoPro mounted on the Curtis car is right off the front of the cockpit to the right-hand side. So you can see most of the tire getting down, the air cleaner in the top, and you can really see how physical the racing is in this division. Well, more front bumper love.
A lot of front bumper love.
But it's gentle, right?
Yeah, so when these drivers want to move someone, they move. Oh, we got contact.
Look out, Jamie Corbett around.
And more bonus contact. Corbett goes around. Larson goes around. Now Dietz and Curtis making contact.
Something had to shake
and now
loose.
goes Dietz.
Well, everybody gets a spin out. And you get a spin out. And you get a spin out. Something had to break eventually there. They were too tight, right? Nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail, and yeah, around goes half of them.
Well, Dakota now has the lead, and a comfortable one at that, following the trouble for everyone. Ryan Clark running second right now. Scoring says Haley Wilkinson running in third. As there you see Wilkinson coming under fire from Chris Curtis in the 74.
So penalty assessed to Curtis? Or just lost a couple of spots there on the incident?
Lost a couple of spots on that.
Okay.
Extended, was that one incident? Is that two incidents? I don't know.
It's 3 for the price of 1.
Sure.
Right? It's as if they headed to Monroe Grocery Outlet and snuck up on one of the great deals they have there.
Buy one, get 2 free.
Well, while we talk about our wonderful sponsors, we couldn't do our season without All Ply Roofing. They have been an incredible asset and incredibly helpful to us by getting Home Track Heroes on the air every year. All Ply Roofing serves the greater Puget Sound region from Bellingham to Tacoma. North Bend to Bremerton, All Ply has you covered. Call All Ply Roofing for a free estimate or visit them at allplyroofing.com. They're your residential and commercial roofing team, All Ply Roofing. Lead battle is on.
Yes.
Clark up on the back of Wilkinson for the top spot. 9 to go.
As they're going to navigate the intersection once again. Clark looking low, but that's where the lapped car, Jessica Wilkinson, is. And so Dakota will hold on. Clark falls back in line, still in second. See Curtis at the edge of your screen in the bright orange and blue.
Wilkinson using Wilkinson like a offensive lineman in football, paving the path, rolling forward, keeping the 51 away from where Ryan Clark needed to or wanted to be there. But Clark right back up on Dakota as those two striving for the top spot. It'll be 6 to go the next by and by. We go in cockpit with Clark on the right-hand side of your screen.
Oh, we've talked about wheel work for 2 divisions. Why not add a third? This one being the Outlaw Figure 8s. Ryan Clark's run a couple of different tracks when it comes to figure 8 racing, including out east and down south.
That cockpit's super dark on Clark, so it's harder to see what he's doing with the steering wheel overall, but you get an idea of it.
You still see that orange mark.
Wow, and yeah, it's all the way over to almost 3 o'clock on the right-hand set of corners, so... Now, there's different ways that so when you're looking at that steering, it's not always apples to apples. Some drivers will speed their steering up so that more steering input.
Whoa, had to dodge Ricky at the intersection that time.
Basically, a turn of the steering wheel is not the same amount of turn of the wheels on every car, depending on how quick or how slow your steering wheel is as we come into 3 to go. That's the Reader's Digest version of that.
Well, always good to get the Reader's Digest version.
You're just telling me I talk too much, and that's fine.
I'm not saying you talk too much.
I
I find it genuinely interesting.
Well, there you go. You learned something in the quick form that time.
Yeah, I like learning things. Now, if the folks at home don't like that, that's a different story, but that's not me.
Well,
that's you.
What the folks at home don't know is I'm getting paid by the word. Dakota Wilkinson has got 2 to go. He'll cross the intersection this time and come into 1 left as he has added some pad between himself and Ryan Clark. The gap is significant. And Dakota, just 1 more lap to make it around for another feature win here in the Outlaws.
It's been a really good season for the driver of that number 9 machine. I believe this will be win number 3 for him on the year. He's ended years on high notes before, 3 consecutive 2 years ago. Maybe try and do it again as he takes the checkered flag, and he will win your Chain Link Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8 main event.
Ryan Clark will take second, and Gassner up for third. It'll be, I believe Chris Curtis gets it. So Wilkinson takes the win. Starting to think about 60 minutes. We'll go to the podium, talk to your winners.
Third place here in the fair, in front of the fair crowd, and on a very special day to you. How you doing after taking the third?
You know what? I'm doing all right. You know, considering it was pretty rough out there, man. I don't know what's up with everybody, but they all think they got to win it and take everybody out in the long run to do it. And you know, and it really sucks. But you know, we're all trying to race and have a good time out here, and you know, it's pretty rough out there. And you know, sometimes it gets worse than others. But you know, I just got to say happy birthday to my lovely wife, and awesome night tonight. You know, we got NBQ chassis all 1, 2, 3 tonight. So can't ask for anything better for myself and the team.
Who would you like to thank tonight?
Oh man, Randy, thank you. Our friends Holtons, you know, they're off at a wedding this weekend. They couldn't be here, but Jason and Nick and Connie, thanks. We're still here. But I got to thank Bulldog Haven Northwest, Polk Brothers Racing, Michael Young Construction, Thermaltech Powder Coating, Bud Barton's Glass, MCA Creations. I got to thank them all. It's the only way we can get here tonight.
Driver the number 74, third place tonight, Chris Curtis. Well, Ryan, it may not be the race win, but it is a good points day for you. That's got to feel pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah, great points day, and it feels great for us. Apparently something in the rear end broke, but thank goodness we were able to finish the race. But, yeah, like you said, great points night for us, and going to championship night, pretty confident.
Stayed out of trouble out there tonight. What more do you think you needed to get to code?
Maybe to get rough, maybe some rear tire, but not going to do that to him. You know, we're just to the end of the season. Let's get a smooth finish, and, well, like you said, points night. So thought about that in the end, but, yeah, maybe some forward bite, but no, Code ran a great race, just staying clean, and you know what? That's what it takes to get some of the wins, is just get lucky, and, well, I got up to second because I was lucky.
Who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
Got an amazing list of sponsors: Action Machine, Bulldog Haven Northwest, Black Thunder Transport, MBQ Motorsports, MBQ Chassis, Bud Barton's Glass, Thermaltech Powder Coating, and all the people in the shop, my dad, Chris Curtis, Jason and Nick Holton, and then the moms of the team, my mom, Cena Curtis, and Connie Holton. All these people support me in racing, and I get to come out and do what I love to do.
Driver the number 51, second place tonight, Ryan Clark. Throwback graphics all aboard the car this year, and this is win number 3 for you. How does it feel, do it in Grandpa's colors?
It feels like it's just, God, I don't know the word for it, but it feels great. Just showing what I can do with his design and winning with it.
Now you get the honor of racing with so many of your family members. It's got to be pretty fun, right?
It's great, but tonight I made a whoopsie, and I want to apologize. It was just a bad deal. I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm sorry.
Take home the win tonight. Who would you like to thank?
Hold on, I got the list. I'd like to thank Tony V's Garage, Pilchuck Heating, Pacific Northwest Forerunner Connection, A West Coast Septic, Waltz Wood Company, Reppin Welding and Rail, PNC, Landsmiths, Rift, DTMX Racing, my mom and my dad, Bubba, and everyone who's helped me along the way.
Driver the number 9, your race winner tonight, Dakota Wilkinson.
Lots of figure eights, figure eight mania in the books here on Home Track Heroes. But Derek, we're not done. We have got one more week coming up of fair action. And you know what that means, right? More
does it
weeks
mean?
of me talking about Ferris cones. No, not that. Next week's show is going to be absolutely fantastic. We have got the Speedway Chevrolet Demo Derby coming up. Hornets and Youth Hornets. We have got Bump to Pass, big and small car variety. Boat racing's coming up. You know how much we love racing the boats. And buses will be in action once again, so we encourage you to tune in. Next time you can come to Evergreen Speedway is going to be Saturday the 20th. It's All-Ply Roofing Championship Night number 2, featuring Outlaws and Superstock Figure 8s, mini stocks, vintage mods, Pro 4 trucks, and Youth Hornets. Hope that we will see you here. For Derek Todoroff, Ben Iman doing a little work in Victory Lane for the Hobbs is on production. My name is Caleb Hart. We will see you next Sunday night for more fair destruction coming up on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.